beautifuls, this is Aromie here. Welcome back to Seduce Me 2 with some intense music going on, so I hope it's not too loud or overpowering my own voice, hopefully not. Looks like a funny girl. For a moment, the Demon Lord seemed to struggle maintaining his place, stepping back to try and remain upright at the hard push Diana was throwing his way. However, as he turned his body, the Demon Lord spotted me and Damien at the entrance of the hall, and a smirk grew on his face.
Ah, uninvited guests!
Diana suddenly turned her head our way, surprised at the acknowledgement, which caused her momentum to falter a bit. Taking the chance, the Demon Lord released another pulse of energy at Diana, forcing her to bend back a bit and stumble on her feet. Diana's eyes returned to normal as she raised her other hand to assist in the stream of energy from her end of the deadlock. Attempting to push forward again and regain her place, the Demon Lord, however, laughed.
It's useless!
Oh snap, what happened? With the final push, the Demon Lord let out an angry snarl and forced his energy forward, causing Diana to slam back against the far pillar and lose concentration in her attack. Smirking evilly, the Demon Lord took the chance and shot a bolt of red lightning at Diana, electrocuting her.
Ah!
Diana! Damien growled and stepped forward, but through her torture, Diana turned her head and glared hard at Damien, making him freeze in place.
Not your turn!
Despite being covered in red-tinted bolts of lightning, Diana began to focus her energy again and formed a deep purple aura around herself, letting the Demon Lord attacks. The Demon Lord's attack bounced around her new barrier. With a breath, Diana let her energy pulse out, dissolving the Demon Lord's attack, and shot a burst of purple flames in retaliation. Her flames slammed themselves into the Demon Lord's chest, putting him back towards the pillar opposite of hers. I could see the light in Diana's eyes flicker from blood red to gold as she locked eyes with the Demon Lord. Something began to burn beneath her murderous gaze, as if her simple stare was powerful enough to burn through the most courageous of hearts. However, the smirk plastered on the Demon Lord's face made my body shiver at the sight. He was nowhere near fazed from Diana's glare. In fact, he seemed to find it amusing from the looks in his eyes.
So, the Rebel Queen is protecting the mistake. How pathetic.
The only mistake that lives in this world is you.
The echo of the Demon Lord's laughter bounced through the halls with an unforgiving reverb, invading my ears and pounding against my mind. I could feel his dark energy pass through his voice and shake my soul. This was a nightmare vision. The Demon Lord was right in front of me, and his presence was terrifying. Diana and the Demon Lord began to circle one another, with Diana moving to stand in front of us, while the Demon Lord positioned himself in front of his throne, at the foot of the dais. However, I could feel the anxiousness in Damien's arms, and as I held it to me, keeping him in place, he wanted to fight the Demon Lord, but Diana wasn't letting him, and it was bothering him to no end.
Let me help.
I don't need help.
With that answer, Diana sprinted forward, summoning her wings and shooting herself like a bullet towards the Demon Lord. As she passed the midpoint of the room, Diana formed her saber in his hand and swung it at the Demon Lord. To her disgust, the Demon Lord parried with ease with his own sword, knocking his saber back and swinging to get a slice of her. The battle became a quick slam of dodges and parries from the Demon Lord and Diana, the sound of steel clanging violently in the air. It became a challenge still, keeping Damien near me. I could feel the anger and need for battle in his tense muscles, ushering me to squeeze it and pull him towards me cautiously. He obeyed, but who knew how long he would. What caused me to look away from Damien was the sound of Diana crying out in pain. I watched as Diana's body flew. That sounds disgusting, the noise I'm hearing. Flew across the room and slammed itself into the nearby wall, part of the balcony above it collapsing and crumbling on top of her. I could almost hear her bones breaking from the rocks that had fallen on her. Oh gosh, that's so disgusting. I could see Diana digging her way through the rubble, her hand clawing out of an opening in desperation to pull herself out. However, Damien took that chance to march towards the Demon Lord, ready to take up the fight. Seeing his new opponent, the Demon Lord chuckled darkly and brandished his sword, pointing it at Damien in a taunt.
So, you've come to try and stop me? You're as foolish as I remember.
You know nothing about me.
I may not, but I remember all about your mother.
Oh, damn. That sparked a flare in Damien's rage. Damien swiped his hand into his pocket and pulled out the gem Diana had given him. From the grip he had on it, I was surprised it didn't smash between his fingers. However, before Damien could step forward, a flash of purple zipped across the room and slammed into the Demon Lord's body, shoving him into a pillar and successfully destroying it with his body.
I'm not done with you yet!
Alright. The room began to slowly shape into the reflection of my nightmare. With rubble and stone littering the ground, Diana floated in the air on her wings, but I could tell that her leg and at least a rib was broken, making her curl over herself from the pain. Diana kept glaring at the Demon Lord, however, gritting her teeth through the pain and forming her saber once again in her hand. As only a couple fingers and her thumb managed to wrap around the handle, I could tell then that her hand was also injured.
You'll have to kill me first before I let you get away.
To see Diana continue to fight was remarkable, but I knew very well that she wasn't going to last long. One more avalanche of rubble on her would end her. The Demon Lord rose from the pile of stone that had fallen on him, grinning despite the blood rushing down his forehead.
Then let me finish the job!
With a crackle, the Demon Lord let his red energy pulse around him, making the rubble around him practically disintegrate. Before he lunged forward and slammed his sword into her ears, shooting them both towards the opposite end of the throne. Diana and the Demon Lord returned to their clashing of steel as Damien only fumed at the bout. My instinct screamed at me to pull him back and calm him down, but was I in a place to stop him? Let him attack or calm him down? Diana's fighting him right now, so we've got to calm him down. I had to force Damien to accept Diana handling this fight. If he interfered, then Diana might attack him as well, just for her adrenaline rush. I grabbed Damien's hand and pulled him back to me, needing to set him straight. As he looked to me, I could see the need for revenge burning in his eyes. I instinctively felt bad, but I knew better than to let him rampage. Come on. I insisted and pulled Damien back towards the entrance of the hall, giving Diana and the Demon Lord space to fight. Damien reluctantly followed, not allowing the anger in his eyes to die as he stared and pinned his gaze on the fight. I hope I chose the right choice. I'm not trying to listen to my heart for once, I'm trying to listen to my brain, because I listen to my heart too much in games and I always lose. The battle intensified as we settled back in our place. Diana seemed to match equally to her opponent as the fight waged violently between them. Red lightning and purple flames sparked between their weapons, lighting the room like fireworks. As Diana's saber flew out of her hands, I hope you guys didn't hear that. It's like I yawned, but with my mouth closed or something. I don't know, it was a weird squeak. She brought her arms up and, to my surprise, began to use her forearms to defend herself from the Demon Lord's blade. How it was possible, I would never know, but his blades would merely clang against the purple taint on Diana's skin, like she was wearing some form of armor, or perhaps her demon markings protected her. Regardless, Diana defended herself as much as she could, until she was met with a kick to the chest, sending her flying back into another pillar and breaking it apart with her body. Her body was completely covered by rubble, unmoving and unwavering from the hit. Diana! Now you can go, Damien. Demon Lord finally looked to Damien, tongue darting out to lick his blade as his smirk grew. Ugh, what if you accidentally cut your tongue doing that?
Your turn. Mistake.
Dude, don't call my Damien mistake, alright? Damien snarled as he finally settled himself, ready to take on his father, not only for the world and for his mother, but for Diana as well. Damien's body pulsed and caused him to kneel over slightly from the burst of power in his chest. This music is so intense. I hope you guys are hearing me through the music. I don't know. The hiss Damien, not Diana. Damien growled as his body began to shift. His clothes would slowly vanish and black markings began to crawl across Damien's skin. As Damien's horns were formed on his head, the air began to shift to one of extreme cold. Something about Damien began to pulse with dark energy, one I had not seen from him even before he lost his powers. As Damien finally locked eyes with the Demon Lord, a flash of black washed over his gaze, sending a vibration of fear down my back. He looks pretty scared too. Look at the labels. I'm poking. I hope my cursor is on. Poke.
Let's
Oh wow.
end this.
You look so cool right now. It looks cool. In a show of power, the Demon Lord let out a snarl and charged forward with his sword. Damien, however, summoned a large invisible burst of energy, pushing the Demon Lord back. The Demon Lord fell back and tumbled back up onto his feet after skidding across the marble with a snarl. I had to cover my face with my hands to block the gust of wind that followed, almost feeling myself slide across the floor on my heels from the wave. Damien was bellowing with energy, and it definitely showed. He looks super cool right now. Like, he's like half demon, half reaper. I don't know. That's pretty cool looking. With a look of cold thirst for murder in his eyes, Damien lifted his head and raised his arms to his sides, in a similar fashion to the succubus before him. The black markings on Damien's back began to twist and turn, slowly pulling themselves off of his skin and forming a set of wings. Staring at them, they were surprisingly much larger than Diana's. They shuddered and flapped themselves through the air, pushing gusts of wind forward in a taunting gesture at the Demon Lord. As the Demon Lord began to stand, Damien brought his hands in front of him and formed a large rod of black mist in his hands. It quickly solidified in his grip, and it began to gleam brightly as one end began to protrude and curve into the end of his sight. I knew that the gem would intensify Damien's power, but just how much did it strengthen? I also think his revenge also pushed a lot of power into him, so he's like way out of control right now. The Demon Lord measured Damien with his eyes, glaring hard and gripping his sword tighter in both anger and a dash of surprise.
How did you get this much power?
I don't answer to scum like you.
Damn. With that reply, Damien swooped forward and swung aside back to reap through the Demon Lord like a Grim Reaper. See, I told you. Despite the Demon Lord being able to parry the attack with his blade, the Demon Lord found himself skidding across the floor from the force of Damien's attack. Damien became relentless and continued to swing and slam his side blade into the Demon Lord's sword. It's so hard to keep reading because there's no like commas or anything for me to calm down. The heavy slamming of steel beating on steel boomed the room as Damien began to push the Demon Lord back towards his throne. Finally, the Demon Lord was knocked back onto his throne, stunned momentarily as Damien pulled his scythe back, ready to decapitate his enemy once and for all. Unfortunately, the blade met with the Demon Lord's sword at the last minute, making me grimace in aggravation. I wanted this to end. I wanted the Demon Lord to fall already. This dance of death has gone on for long enough, and there was no reason for this battle to prolong itself any further. The Demon Lord was clinging to his last moments, and every part of me wished he would give up. Damien was more powerful than him. This fight would eventually be over. Damien pressed his body to his side, pushing against the Demon Lord.
Give up.
Trying to scare me, boy? Let me show you how it's done!
Distracted by the deadlock, Damien was suddenly kicked back through the air, sent tumbling in surprise as the Demon Lord rose back onto his feet and locked eyes with me. A wave of fear shot through me, and I was locked, frozen in place. I attempted to break free, mentally commanding every part of my body to move or do something to stop him, but no muscle in my body obeyed. Damien quickly tumbled back onto his feet, burning his gaze into the Demon Lord before looking back to me and seeing what he was doing to me.
Be glad, boy! I'm setting her free from the demon world!
Wait, what? With a sadistic howl, a red bolt of lightning rammed itself into the ceiling, causing a large rock above me to shatter off the structure and plummet towards me.
Look out!
The boulder quickly impacted my back. It wasn't heavy enough to completely crush me against the marble, but I could tell that I had broken a rib or two. However, I felt a body pressing against me, bearing the boulder from completely smashing me beneath it. I looked up to see a familiar face, wincing the pain now embedded in her shoulder and arms. Diana? Despite being battered and bloody, Diana gripped the boulder, pressing most of its weight off of me, and taking it on herself, making sure my injuries were limited to just broken bones. Diana growled and pushed the boulder off of us at last, releasing a pained huff of air as she looked to me in concern.
Are you alright?
Wow, even at this moment, Diana is still worrying about us. I could only nod astonished at the turn of events. Diana was alive. How is that possible? Staring at her, I could tell she was near death's door, but she wasn't going to go down without the Demon Lord going down first. Her wings were pressed hard against her back, seemingly broken, but as she lifted me back up, a hum of purple energy rushed through Diana's body and forced her wings to flex out, snapping them into place once more.
This battle isn't over. Not by a long shot.
A pair of us looked over at the Demon Lord, seeing him emotionally seated at the side of us.
Just don't know when to die, do you?
Should ask yourself that. Diana smirked and stepped forward, holding her hand back towards me and forming a large purple barrier around
We've got
it.
unfinished business to take care of first. Right, Damien?
With an angered nod, Damien stood, gripping his scythe while Diana formed her saber in her hand, materializing a wrap around her hand and the handle to keep it in her grip.
It's over, you bastard.
Baring his teeth, the demon lord gripped his sword and stepped down from the dais to meet Damien and Diana halfway.
I will slaughter you both!
Doubt it. Do you not know who you are against? A violent shudder ran up my spine at his words before Damien and Diana vaulted forward, slamming their weapons into the demon lord's parrying sword. At the collision, a bright flash of red, purple, and black energy sparked and lit the room like a large firework. I moved at the edge of the barrier, trying to watch from the safety of the spell around me, as Damien and Diana slowly began to beat down the demon lord's defense. The sparks between their clashing beat blinded the demon lord. No amount of bravado could save the demon lord now. The room slowly began to crumble just from the heavy sound waves of their fighting, causing rock upon rubble to fall onto the marble almost like hail. This time, Damien was nowhere near defenseless. Damien would escape with me, and the demon lord would die here alone. I felt confidence run through me at the idea. Damien could do this. Tired of the steel battle, Diana swooped around the demon lord and slashed at the back of his knees, forcing him to fall forward and drop his sword from the impact.
Enough! End this!
Without a breath of mercy, Damien raised his scythe back, taking aim at his target.
Goodbye, Father.
Oh. A flash of black energy swept the room as Damien swung his scythe down and through the neck of the demon lord. For a moment, nothing seemed to have occurred. It wasn't until a large open line appeared on the demon lord's neck, and his eyes began to glaze over that I realized what had happened. In an angled cut, not perfect by any means, the demon lord's head slid off of his shoulders and tumbled to the marble floor, rolling until it stopped on the edge of one of his horns. From his newly opened neck, black and red blood began to gush out and drain as the body fell forward. The sound of his body hitting the ground echoed through the chamber, solidifying the death of his father. The battle had been won at last. I could finally breathe. That's intense. The realization of the entire event coursed through me like a wave as a weight lifted itself from my heart. The curse I knew then had been lifted at last. I was free to go home. I began drowning in feelings of joy and relief, happy that it was all over and overwhelmed by everything that had just happened. As the scythe beside me faded alongside the bear around me, Damien slowly turned to face me, hearing my slowly growing cries of joy. It was almost overwhelming. We won. We really won. Damien slowly started to walk towards me, his form fading from the demon he got the chance to be to the human he actually was. His clothes slowly materialized around his body, but the bruises and suit of the battle remained as a reminder of what had happened. Just looking into his eyes, I could see the satisfaction of his deeds blossom in his heart. In his gaze, he stared at me, happily to see me, and I felt myself grin from ear to ear at him. I wasn't being pulled away from him, nor was he dead. Damien and I were together and we were okay. Damien finally stopped in front of me and wrapped his arms around me, letting everything sink in within my embrace as I buried my face in his shoulder. I was tired of seeing the death around me now. All I wanted was to go home. You did it, Damien. Yeah, pretty proud of you.
Yeah. We can go home now.
I looked up at him, feeling the ache of the lost adrenaline in my system course through me as I clung to him. The war for us was over. At last. Diana, however, collapsed onto the ground on the dais of the throne. Panting for air, she stared at the pair of us in exhaustion. Wait, is she dying? Before she could finish her sentence, Diana's eyes rolled into the back of her head. What? She completely passed out onto the ground. In a panic rush, I thrust my hand out towards her. Settle! In a flash of light, Settle's form materialized and looked around. Surprised at the summoning, his eyes landed on the passed-out Diana. He slammed down onto his knees and cradled her in his arms. Relieved to see her breathing, okay. Alright. He hugged her to his chest, giving her his energy. That was close. Good thing I could summon demons just like that. Boom, boom. I clung to Damien, now mentally wiped out. Who knew the end of battle was so exhausting? I had fought with Lizette once before, but it was nowhere... Is it Lizette? I don't know. but it was nowhere near as intense as the fight was, not by a long shot. Damien and I looked at each other, both of us feeling the lack of energy from the battle attempt to consume our bodies, before leaning into one another for a well-deserved rest. One thing was for certain, this chapter of my story had come to an end. It was over. The war was finally over. As the smoke cleared, we were victorious. The soldiers left standing were the ones... My timer is off, but I feel like this is the end, so... long ending for you guys. The soldiers left standing where the left standing were the ones to cheer in victory. The sky became littered with the howls and cries of joyful and happy. The tyranny of the demon lord had ended, but what now? Home was now possible. We could go back to the human world and we could live our lives as we wanted. It was something I desperately wanted, yet my body was not ready to make the journey just yet, which means I did not get the good ending. Wait, right? We had to celebrate the success of the war, after all. Oh. Okay. You know what? Maybe I'll just end it here. Yeah. How about that? I thought that it was telling me the ending, but I guess not. We still have a party to do or whatever. But today, it's gonna end here. You guys are probably really upset. But next episode should be the ending, and then the next following week, we're gonna start a new route, which I believe Matthew was requested first. So we might go after Matthew, but I gotta check again if it was Matthew. I'm pretty sure it was Matthew. And then it was Sam. Yeah. Unless you guys want otherwise. So, is it... Who do you guys want me to go after? Okay. Just tell me. Okay. We have Matthew, Sam, Eric, and... Damn, I always forget his name. I don't remember his name. The big brother, right? The older brother? Joe? No, it's not Joe, is it? He just reminds me of Joe from Digimon. But just comment down below who you guys want me to go after, since Damien's route is about to be over, like right now. So thank you guys for watching. Stay beautiful, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.